Hi, everyone. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Like I said, we hope you had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. It is now September, and you know what that means. It is annual dinner month here at the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, and we are so excited to celebrate. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Laura Mengi of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. She highlights the 2024 Devou Cup honoree, Suits That Rock. Also on the podcast today, we are joined by Suits That Rock co-founder Don Damasco, who highlights their upcoming concert happening on September 14th. Now we're going to backtrack a little bit because annual dinner is happening on September 12th. You can still get your tickets, but time is running out. You can register now at nkychamber.com/events. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Schneller Knockelman. Like I said, annual dinner is happening on September 12th. Then Suits That Rock's annual concert is happening on September 14th. That is a jam-packed week. And then after that, we have a couple of business council meetings happening here at the Chamber. First up, the Florence Business Council will meet on Thursday, September 19th for AI for Business Growth. And on Thursday, September 26th, the Fort Thomas Business Council will meet for another roundtable meeting on the Fort Thomas business districts. You can get more details on both of those events and about our business councils in general at nkychamber.com/business-councils. Now, let's go meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and I'll be back with this week's guests.
Why would you travel to England?
For football.
To go or not to go?
That is an easy question.
To visit the land of Shakespeare.
To take in all the sights.
Authentic fish and chips.
To experience arts and culture.
2 words, British Open.
To visit my family.
Same reason I go anywhere. For a pint of beer. To start my trip through Europe.
Whatever your reason, there's no better time than now.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Wave RFID is a revolutionary inventory system for optometry, ophthalmology, and other segments of healthcare, designed to track and manage inventoried items. Trailpath Workplace Solutions is a workplace and people development company leveraging modernized methods and technologies to build meaningful employment environments. InfoTap is an innovative survey platform that provides a gamified experience to its users. Interjoin Technologies is your premier partner for transformative IT solutions, specializing in seamless implementation of Microsoft Dynamics 365, Power BI, and cutting-edge AI technologies.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Laura Mengi of the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. Laura, welcome back to the podcast.
Glad to be back on. Thanks.
Yes, it is so great to have you on once again to talk about annual dinner happening on September 12th and talk about this year's Devou Cup recipient. So let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about the Devou Cup.
Happy to. Well, here it is. This is the famous Devou Cup. This is the 21st year we're presenting it. Every year GCF awards it at the Chamber annual dinner to honor the generosity of individuals who have made a profound difference in the quality of community life in Northern Kentucky. It's a very fun event, and it's a fun award to give. Usually it goes to individuals or couples that have been very philanthropic and generous in the region. This year, going in a little bit of a different direction, and I'm super jazzed about it because the recipient of the 2024 Devou Cup will be Suits That Rock. And I don't think they need much introduction. People know Suits, but basically, I don't think they need much introduction because everyone knows Suits That Rock. They are tremendous, but they were founded in 2003 by John Damasco, Kevin Canifax, Paul Bromwell, Greg Shoemate, as a rock star group of, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, business people in their day jobs who also have a very remarkable talent for instruments and singing and music. And they organized to lend their talents to support the Carnegie in Covington Covington, and it's arts education program every year. So for the last 17 years, they have been raising, I think, almost $2 million for the Carnegie and its arts program. So tremendous legacy of philanthropy, community giving back in the most like creative and unique way. So it's just really a total treat to get to honor, just the collective impact that this group has had over all these years. I think they've brought in guest suits. I mean, they're talking about 30 people that join every year. I've heard that the rehearsal schedule is really, really intense. John DeMosco apparently has a spreadsheet that's extremely detailed. And it's, I mean, these are terrifically talented, people who, you also know through the leadership roles in the community. So quick plug, they're going to be performing their annual concert on the 14th of September. Here's a fun fact. Past recipients have been known to drink bourbon out of this cup. I won't name names. I won't name names, but they know who they are. And and I fully expect that this year, maybe it just goes around the table. I don't know. So yeah, this is always a fun award for us to present at the Chamber dinner. It's always wonderful to be able to recognize just really uncommon generosity and goodness in our region. And I think this year will be especially fun. So. Yeah.
I totally agree. The jazzed was pun intended, I assume. But like you said, Suits That Rock, they're so well known in our community. They've been doing great work here in Covington. And like you mentioned, it's people from all sorts of walks of life that people will run into in their day-to-day. And then they take the time out of their schedule to do this great charitable organization. When you think about your past honorees of the Devou Cup and your honoree, obviously, Suits That Rock this year, is there any important reason on timing, or was it just this is the year to honor Suits That Rock?
It was actually, I'm going to give Dan Gernick the credit for the suggestion. It was his idea, and I just thought it was fabulous. Again, it's a little bit different from, giving it to individuals and couples we've done usually. I mean, the past recipients have all been tremendous and fantastic, people to present the award to, but there's something about kind of the collective, which is really, really great to honor not just one person or one family, but actually like, someone who has a great idea and then pulling their friends together, pulling the community together, and just kind of creating a very, unique and creative idea, that will give back in a very, very huge way. And I think they get bigger and bigger every year. I mean, they used to be at the Carnegie, but they've long since sold out the capacity of the theater. So now they, of course, perform at Ovation. And I think they'll eventually sell that venue out as well. They've got such a huge following at this point. So I just love the idea of honoring a group of people who have created the legacy of something this meaningful and this significant in terms of impact. And then also being able to spotlight the Carnegie a little bit too, and what their contribution is to our community, especially kids and education, arts education. So it's kind of a win-win-win all around. And I just imagine a stage being full of, terrific people who have been, current and past Suits. I mean, you've got Nancy Grayson, you've got Sarah Cameron, you've got all these, people that have just have contributed. Everyone. It's such an amazing diversity of people across the region that have, at some point been a part of this amazing organization. So yeah, I think that's what I'm excited for the energy and for, what it represents this year.
Yes, it is so exciting. Like you said, all good things about Suits and all of the great things that they've done over the years. And we're really excited to be able to honor them and so many other people at annual dinner on September 12th. And I want to pivot a little bit before I let you go, Laura. The Greater Cincinnati Foundation does great work. Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are looking forward to for the end of the year and into next year.
Sure. We've got a lot going on, and it's all pretty exciting. We have a whole new leadership team here. They are fantastic. We're building out a strategy now, kind of road mapping, our next moves in terms of community impact and donor partnerships and what we're going to be, how we're going to be growing and expanding in the region. By the end of the year, we will have awarded nearly $10 million worth of grants to local nonprofits. That's my colleagues in the grant making team. They have a lot of work cut out for them. It's just sounds like a lot of fun, and it is. I mean, it's very, very fulfilling, rewarding. It's also a lot of hard work. They get hundreds of requests, and they have to do the hard job of making those investment decisions. But about 10 million will be able to go out across this year. When you add in the grants from our donors and other partners, we might be able to hit up to 150 million again this year. So just kind of the scale of people's generosity across the region is completely splendid and fantastic. And I love having this like front row seat to being a part of it. We've got a bunch of donor events coming up. We're trying to, and in essence, the Community Foundation is meant to be a connector between generosity, generous people, and, terrific nonprofit work and missions in the region. And so we've got donor events to try to make that introduction for our donors. One of my favorite programs every year, I brought a little sample special gift. Donors will ask us at the end of the year, give us some ideas for our charitable giving. We've got a donor advice fund with you. We've got different funds, which is great. And we use them throughout the year for giving to things we care about. But also, it's the holiday season. Give us some ideas, GCF, for what you're seeing in the community and what you might recommend or suggest, or, lift up some great needs that we could support with our own giving. And so this is maybe the 5th year of this little booklet. It's a simple booklet that we send out to everybody, highlighting 10 local nonprofits and 10 projects that can be funded with $10,000. So everyone gets a copy of this, and about $150,000 came in last year in terms of supporting all the different projects together. So again, it's like a dream job to get to work with generous people that, are asking questions about how do I support the region and how do I give back? So a lot of fun with the donor events and the donor conversations and building generosity kind of across. We're also doing a lot of partnerships with nonprofits in our region. So right now we're doing a lot of site visits, having a lot of conversations around, building out our investments with all these terrific agencies and how we can best partner with them and be a good, investor in the region. We've also got meetings with families, kind of bringing in multi-generations across the next few months. So you got, kids and grandkids coming in from different parts of the country to meet with their parents and talk about, again, their families giving, their families' legacies, and having, that result in dollars to Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky-based charities. And so it's all good stuff. It's very busy. But it's just terrific getting to be in this role and getting to recognize the generosity and kindness that we see every day. So yeah. Oh, and then last but least, Women's Fund.
Yes.
They've had this terrifically successful program called Appointed, which is focusing on getting more women involved with nonpartisan civic engagement and civic boards across the region. So they have been on fire this year. There have been so many women that have been, tapped for these civic boards, and they're just growing and growing and growing. So especially in Northern Kentucky, we're trying to get more women to engage civically and be a part of it. So I mean, so many good updates. That's just a few.
Right. You guys always have so much going on. It is always great to hear what you guys are doing. And Laura, thank you so much for your work, Greater Cincinnati Foundation's work in the community. And we are really looking forward to honoring Suits That Rock. But before I let you go, is there anything else that our listeners and viewers need to know about the Greater Cincinnati Foundation or the Devou Cup winners this year?
I just hope that they'll be in the audience at the annual dinner and that they'll be very, very loud when we present this to Kevin and John and Paul and Greg and the others. Just that's camaraderie and the community spirit is what we're after. So I hope that there'll be lots of supporters, and I hope people will go to their concert too at Ovation on the 14th, because that is a heck of a show. 3 hours of nonstop rock and roll performed by your favorite CPA.
Yes, I absolutely love it. What a week. September 12th, annual dinner, Suits That Rock, September 14th.
Yeah.
Well, Laura, thank you once again for your time. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
You as well. Thanks again.
Let's raise a glass. There's so much to celebrate this year, from the Northern Kentucky Chamber's 55th anniversary to milestones for the Women's Initiative, Regional Youth Leadership, and Leadership Northern Kentucky. To mark these important milestones, we're partnering with New Riff Distilling to raise funds to support leadership programming at the Northern Kentucky Chamber. Now through September 13th, for every $200 donation made to the Northern Kentucky Chamber Foundation, donors will receive a special thank you 750 milliliter bottle of New Riff single barrel bourbon with a commemorative edged label of your choice. Thanks to Paul Hemmer Company's STEP and Global Business Solutions for helping to make this happen. To donate, visit nkychamber.com/fundraiser.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by John Damasco, co-founder of Suits That Rock. John, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. It's so funny because earlier in this podcast, we talked to Laura McGee at the Greater Cincinnati Foundation about you guys being this year's Devou Cup honoree at annual dinner. We're so excited to have you on to talk about that award and all of the great work that you're doing. But jump right in. Tell us a little bit about Suits That Rock.
Probably the closest thing to a Cliff Notes of Suits That Rock is we are a collection of people with non-musical performance day jobs that put on a concert, 3-hour concert once a year, the proceeds of which benefit the Carnegie in Covington and their arts education programs for children.
Yeah, that's really important work that you guys are doing, and you guys have been doing this for years. How long have you guys been doing this?
Our first was in 2008, so if it hadn't been for the pandemic, this one would be our 17th, but it's going to be our 16th show.
Yeah, still very good numbers. You guys have been rocking and rolling. This year's concert is coming up, ironically enough, right after annual dinner happening on the 14th. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on this year.
Well, this year, we have a theme every year, and it just kind of helps guide our choice of songs and material. So this year, we decided, it being an election year, which is normally divisive, that our theme would be Come Together, because lots of people have said over the years what a unifier music is. And when it comes down to it, if you're standing next to somebody who is 180 degrees opposed to all of your views, you can both sing along to your favorite song. So we are, of course, doing Come Together by the Beatles. That's the only Beatles tune we're doing this year. But lots of songs, One Love, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, and several songs. Most of the songs in the set list this year can have a rather backdoor election connection. Some of them, you can just imagine one of the candidates, tongue-in-cheek, saying to the other one, we're doing CeeLo Green's Forget You.
Yeah.
We're doing I Hate Myself for Loving You. We're doing You Can't Always Get What You Want, which seems to be the ultimate
ultimate election slogan.
Yeah, right.
I really love that you guys pick a theme every year to help guide that. I think that's the election kind of bent on that is really fun. So the concert, like I said, is happening on September 14th. Give us the rest of the details on that.
The doors open 6:30. Show begins at 7:30. Goes to around 10:30. Usually it's a few minutes after that. But tickets are available either at the box office, calling the box office between noon and 5, Tuesday through Friday. The number there is 859-957-1940. Or 24/7, the Carnegie.com has the ability to buy tickets online.
Great. And this is happening at Megacorp Pavilion,
yes,
correct?
It is. Megacorp Pavilion in Newport. This will be our 3rd year there. And a great facility. It's not only great for the audience, which is, of course, our first concern, but it's a touring rock band location. So it makes us all feel like we've taken a step up in venue.
Yeah, it makes you feel like real rock stars.
Yeah, really. We get one night to be a real rock star.
Yeah, I love that it's one night a year, so it's a really big event for you guys. You guys do a lot of great work, and like you said, it benefits the Carnegie. When you guys founded this many, many moons ago, what made you guys do this? Like, what was the driving force behind it?
Totally non-fundraising oriented. It kind of started with several of us, Greg Shoemate and I, we got our bands together in 2003 to do a benefit for Thomas More College at the time and St. E's. And just seeing the looks on people's faces when they see their corporate lawyer or their board chair or their owner of their employer shredding Led Zeppelin is just priceless. And so we always look for opportunities to see those shocked looks. And then fast forward about 4 or 5 years, I was talking to Kevin Canifax, and he said, why don't we try to get just 5 or 6 of us together for an hour in somebody's charitable event, and it'll draw people to the event, and we'll have a good time, and it'll be a win-win. So I did a little looking for a charity, and honestly, charities are not looking for more events to put on. It takes a lot of effort, burns up a lot of volunteer time, a lot of staff time. So we had a lot of people that said, oh, that's a great idea, and then they wouldn't return my phone calls. Eventually, the Carnegie had the foresight and the entrepreneurial spirit to say, well, we need to do that at the Carnegie. And they honestly said, we don't care if you raise $1, because we want your crowd to come to the Carnegie.
Right.
They didn't realize how much the bar would make. I think the bar might have made $10,000 the first year.
So funny.
So the first year we made, I don't know, $15,000 or so, and it took us a couple of years to realize that we were not just there to have a great time, which we do. We were there to raise money, and the fact that all the people on the stage are successful in whatever careers they chose, and they have an arts background, we don't think is a coincidence.
Right.
And arts programs have been dropped from so many curricula around the Cincinnati area over the years as budget cuts happen. And the ability to offer arts education to kids who never, ever would have had another opportunity to get it is just such a buzz for us. I mean, quite honestly, we would play for 1,200 people at Megacorp Pavilion for nothing. But it sure is fun to think that we're able to pay it forward a little bit, because we all feel like our arts background has had a real role in our own success.
Yeah, I love that idea that it's almost so organic, but it makes so much sense. It's like you did it fully on purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'd love to tell you on that. In 2007 or 8, we looked at it and had this full vision of what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Our role has become, from the very beginning, just trying to nurture this thing and not mess it up. Every year we try to figure out, okay, what can work better here, and it's pretty much evolved on its own, and we're running to keep up.
Yeah, and after 16 years, you guys have done so much good for the community, for the youth in Northern Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati that really do need that arts education. As someone who was a band kid in a past life, I totally understand the importance of that. And I feel like it's really enriched my life, and that's one of the reasons why you guys are the Devou Cup honoree this year. And congratulations to you and everyone else involved in Suits. Tell us a little bit about what it means to be recognized like that.
For us, it's huge. And if you're privileged enough to be honored for something, you always have this feeling, kind of like an imposter. You think, I know so many people that are more worthy of this than I am. With this, I don't have that. We've got 130 people that have done Suits That Rock over the years. So it's not like somebody's honoring me personally.
Mm-hmm.
We're accepting this for not only for all the people that have performed in Suits, but we also realized pretty early that all the people in the audience and the sponsors, they're all Suits That Rock too. And so we'll be accepting this honor on their behalf.
Yeah.
And that's a big thrill.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And we are so excited to celebrate you guys on the 12th, right before your concert. I think that is just absolutely beautiful timing. But John, before I let you go today, is there anything else that you think our audience needs to know about Suits That Rock?
Well, I think the one takeaway, and it's hard to boil it down to one takeaway of over 17 years, the bonding effect of music, of people playing music together. I mean, you would think, given the range of people that we've had involved in Suits That Rock, and it's been all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
We've had CEOs of public companies. You would think that they would all walk in and have their position as in business follow them in the door. Whatever cloak of rank they have falls off in the parking lot, and everybody walks in and everybody is a musician. And you create such bonds working on music that in the early going is pretty rough.
Yeah.
And the closer we get, the better it gets. And by the time you get to the show, it's just so satisfying to have worked with these talented people and done something of value. And it kind of proved to me that philanthropy doesn't have to hurt. Philanthropy, you can have a great time and benefit a great cause all at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's really great. Well, John, thank you so much for your time today, and congratulations once again on the Devou Cup.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Housing is a regional priority. Having an ample supply of homes is fundamental for the Northern Kentucky region to meet basic economic needs and enable regional growth. Learn more about income-aligned housing, the region's housing needs, and why it is essential to ensure Northern Kentucky continues to be a great place to live, work, play, learn, and give back at bit.ly/NKY Housing Study.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning a lot about Suits That Rock on today's episode of the podcast from Laura and from John. You can still get your tickets for annual dinner presented by Fifth Third Bank happening on September 12th at nkychamber.com/events. If you do want to attend, you need to get those tickets now because our registration window is closing soon. And like John said, check out the Carnegie's website for tickets for Suits That Rock's concert happening on September 14th. Like I said, you can also learn more about our business councils by visiting nkychamber.com/business-councils. We have those two meetings coming up on September 19th and September 26th. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, CVG, C. Crew Consulting, and Schneller Knockelman. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on our Talent Strategies Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you if you are a viewer, and our listeners can find that information at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.